realized the other day that I don't make too many diabetes videos, and I wondered why. I mean, it's such a huge part of my life, and I life coach people with diabetes for a living. So I'm going to start putting my 26 years of experience with this lovely disease to good use on my channel right now. This is totally free advice for everyone who is forced to endure living with this roller coaster of a disease. And people pay me good money for this, so listen up. Now, don't get me wrong. To say I'm not a fan of living with diabetes would be an understatement. I would pay a ton of money to get rid of this disease. In fact, I'd clear out my entire bank account. Truthfully, I'd even rob a bank and clear out everyone's bank account if I could somehow pay for a cure. And if I got cold feet about that bank heist, I can talk a big game, you know. At least I'd start a GoFundMe page or something. I have put together the top 10 most important things I have found to best manage my diabetes and the diabetes of my clients, which incidentally are adults and children with type 1 and type 2. You are almost guaranteed an A1C of under 6.5% if you follow these guidelines. I know that's a really strong claim to make, but it's not like I'm saying that cinnamon will cure your diabetes or anything. And you know what I'm talking about. So whether you are newly diagnosed, have a child who's diabetic, or you are a decades-long diabetic who is just not happy with their current management and wants to reevaluate their strategy or get some new helpful tips and gain control of your health again, you'll want to take notes. Diabetes is one of those diseases that requires constant attention and is a constant balancing act. Just one wrong guess at the amount of carbs in a meal can throw you off for an entire night. And those nights can be really, really long. I've been there. We need to eliminate as many variables as possible. Remember, we don't get a do-over in life, but we can hit the reset button. And now's the time. Here are the top 10 things you can do to live your best life possible, beginning with number 10 and working our way to the top. Here we go with number 10. Find a good doctor. Now, this is easier said than done, but so necessary. Many doctors have a cookie-cutter approach to treating their patients. When new technology and pharmaceuticals come out on the market, these type of doctors poo-poo them. They don't like change, and they kind of operate with this, if it's not broke, don't fix it mentality. Now, I'm not saying this about all doctors, just a good majority of them. It is essential to find a doctor who will listen to you. I have found that many of the best doctors have research facilities within their practices. That's always a good indication of a doctor who's willing to try new things. And I know insurance companies and financial restraints can sometimes dictate the doctor that you can see and how often you can see him or her, but if you're managing your diabetes well and aren't having any complications, then there's really not any reason to even have to see your doctor more than twice a year. And for a well-controlled diabetic, I think once a year is enough. My doctor visits are basically just shooting the breeze with my doctor. For real. Number 9 is to be informed. Read everything you can. And with Google only a tap away, this isn't hard. But only read things from valid sources, not the crazy people out there who tell you how you can get rid of diabetes with magical Chinese tea or herbal stimulants or acupuncture or chromium supplements. Those do not work, okay? Just telling you right now. However, if you are a type 2 and overweight, you can lose weight and possibly get rid of your diabetes along with it. Type 1s, you're kind of out of luck, so I don't care if you're super thin or have 50 pounds to lose, your pancreas just sucks. So get your hands on valid information. Read books. In fact, I have one on Amazon. It's called Too Sweet, the Not So Serious Side to Diabetes. Okay, there's my little shameless plug in the video here. But anyway, the point is to fill yourself with knowledge. Learn about the latest diabetes technology so you can ask your doctor about it. And get involved in trials if you can. This can expose you to exciting new therapies and help you avoid that dreaded diabetes burnout. It's a real thing. You need to mix it up every so often and not get caught up in the diabetes rut. Tools for managing this disease and types of pharmaceuticals are coming out at a record pace. In fact, there's been more things coming out in the last 3 years than in all of the years of diabetes existence. So dive in and see what might help you in your life. I'm going to mention some of my favorite things a little bit later. Number 8 is to build a network. When I was diagnosed 26 years ago, I had nothing. I didn't even have the internet yet. I didn't know anyone with diabetes, and I felt really, really alone. But that does not have to be the case now. Social media is alive with the voices of people with diabetes. Whether it's random tweets on Twitter, one of the hundreds of Facebook groups you can join, or following Instagrammers that you can relate to, you are bound to find a place that you fit in. But don't become obsessed. It can really suck you in. And to be honest, my personal opinion is that I find many Facebook groups are kind of anxiety-filled and somewhat depressing to have a constant reminder every time you open up your Facebook app and see people either complaining or showing pictures of their ulcerated feet. You just never know what you're going to get on Facebook because you see everything people post in whatever group you happen to join. So watch out what groups you join. I personally like the type 1 diabetes athlete group, some of the T1D mom groups, and a Facebook group that's comprised of people that live in my general area. Those all work for me. But with Instagram, you can choose the specific people you want to follow on a daily basis and tailor them to your type of personality. And for sanity purposes, is the best form of social media in my humble opinion. Oh, and two other things. Lilly Diabetes and the Jocelyn Clinic give medals and certificates for people living with diabetes at certain milestones in their lives. So make sure you sign up with those companies. You actually deserve medals for putting up with this stupid disease. And don't forget to celebrate your diaversary, the day you were diagnosed. Make people give you presents too. You deserve them. Number 7, watch the stress. Now this is easier said than done and probably the place that I personally struggle with the most. I mean, life is crazy sometimes, and when you have diabetes, that craziness affects your blood glucose levels. Sometimes I look at stress as eating a big piece of chocolate cake and taking no insulin. The only difference is you didn't get to enjoy the cake. You know that feeling when stress starts hitting you, you get worked up about something, your face gets hot, you get a weird feeling in your stomach, your brain starts having a conversation with itself, thinking of all the things that you can say or respond to. Once that adrenaline hits a certain threshold, there is no turning back, and there's little you can do to stop the figurative freight train that's gonna slam into your body and the negative effects that it's gonna have on your blood glucose levels. This happens in competitive sports too, but at least the exercise is good for you. Okay, so what do? Upon the first signs of stress, you need to take some deep breaths. It sounds so simple, but it works so well. Don't respond to whatever it is right away. Let your mind process things without flying off the handle. People are probably watching this video laughing if they know me, but really, I try to do this. Meditation is also a proven method to helping reduce stress, and there are like a gazillion apps for it that you can have instant access to on your phone and use whenever you need to calm down and be mindful. Another way, and this happens to be my favorite way to reduce stress, is exercise, which brings me to the 6th factor to guarantee you a great A1C. Number 6, exercise. Exercise is so important to blood sugar stability and overall health, both physical and mental. You know, exercise increases the body's sensitivity to insulin, and that means you are going to need less insulin and you're going to use it better. So get your heart pumping, do some strength training. The rule is at least 2.5 hours of moderate to vigorous intensity physical activity per week. That means walking really fast, swimming, jogging, and 2 to 3 sessions of resistant exercises per week, which are exercises that you move your limbs with your own body weight or gravity or bands or dumbbells. And remember, picking up a wine glass to your mouth does not count. I tried. Sorry. Does that sound like a lot of exercising to you? Because it really isn't. It boils down to about 45 minutes a day, 4 to 5 days a week. Everyone can make the time for that. And I promise you that once you get into the routine of exercising, you will feel terrible when you don't get to work out. And watch how much better your daily blood sugars get when you start exercising. Okay, we are halfway to the top. Number 5, be an advocate for your own health. I have a cold, hard fact for you. No one is going to care as much about you as you. I don't care who you are. And this isn't sad, it's just the truth. So stop feeling bad for yourself and be relentless in your quest for good health. So how do you do this? It goes back to being informed. Know your choices, ask questions, lots of them. If something doesn't feel right for you, it's probably not. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing. You can tell your doctor what you want and don't take no for an answer. Worry about numero uno. If everyone isn't playing on Team You, then kick them off the team. This is your life. Okay, I'm going to talk about something that's really important right now. It's number 4, overnight blood sugars. I cannot stress the importance of how this factors into your A1C. You sleep 1/3 of your life, and while you are sleeping, you aren't eating and you aren't exerting energy, and you're usually not under too much stress. So this is the perfect opportunity to work on your A1C levels. Focus hard on this time of day. The best way to accomplish this is to not eat late at night and to make sure your basal insulin is set at the right levels. Now, you can do this by fasting during the day and not taking any fast-acting insulin, and seeing if you drop or rise throughout the day. Of course, ask your doctor if you should do this. Don't listen to me. What do I know? A lot. But really, having stable numbers on your overnight is a huge component of your A1Cs. Not to mention, waking up with a good number is a really great way to start the day. Okay, we are up to number 3. What you put in your mouth. Diabetes would be so much easier if we didn't have to eat, right? Food is always going to have the biggest impact on our blood glucose levels. There's so much to learn about food that I can make 20 videos about it alone, but I want to just keep it simple right now. Carbohydrates are what matters here. So even if something is low in sugar but high in carbs, it is still going to impact you greatly. Then there are the carbs that I call the devil. Unfortunately, they are some of my favorite carbs, and most people's favorites actually. Things like pizza and pasta and French fries and Mexican food and Chinese food. These are the foods that you can eat, take insulin, and have a perfect 2-hour post number, but then at the 4 or 5 hour mark, you start to spike to the sky. Honestly, I think it is one of the most frustrating things about diabetes. So do we give up those foods? No way! But just don't overindulge and make better choices when you can. And as with most things in life, timing is everything. Do not eat these foods late at night. Just talked about that before. That'll always wreck your blood sugar, I promise you, because you will be sleeping when you spike and you will wake up feeling like a truck ran over you. Number 2, insulin. Without it, we all wouldn't be here. It deserves the number 1 spot, really. We all have no choice but to take it. But there are choices when it comes time to the way you take it. You can inject it, you can wear a pump, and you can also inhale it, which is what I have been doing for 4 years now. Please, I encourage you to check out Afrezza. It is by far the best insulin to avoid spikes in blood sugar while eating and to get your blood sugar down in record time when you might have a high. And these 2 factors, the spiking and the highs, contribute greatly to your A1C level. I cannot sing the praises of this insulin enough. As soon as this video is done, you will have the option to see another video I made about just Afrezza specifically, so be sure and check that out. Oh, and for a long-acting insulin, I've tried all of them too, and my favorite is Tresiba. Okay, we have reached the final and most important contributing factor to a great A1C and to the quality of your life as a person with diabetes. Number 1, get a continuous glucose monitor. From the day you are diagnosed, get it. Don't listen to the doctors that tell you to wait it out. There is nothing that will change your life more than a CGM. The confidence in knowing what your blood sugar is just by looking at your phone any time of the day is unmatched. And getting warned via alarms when you're going out of range is the key factor to keeping your A1C in check. With the CGM, there are just way fewer surprises, and you also have the comfort of having other people keep tabs on you too by following your numbers on their phones. And this is perfect for parents and children and for spouses or even roommates and neighbors to know if you ever need help or anything. It's just a little device, but it is a big security blanket. Now, just like with insulin, you also have choices for continuous glucose monitors. And just like with insulin, I have used everything out there, okay? I've used the Dexcom, the Libre, and now I am using the Eversense implantable continuous glucose monitor. Every CGM has its pros and cons, but accuracy, it's a non-negotiable. And I have found that the Eversense is the most accurate out of all of the CGMs. And it's the most convenient to use. You get the sensor implanted every 90 days, and soon that's going to be 180 days, so I'm really looking forward to that. Then all you do is stick the transmitter on top of where you have the sensor every day after charging it, and it starts working immediately. No warm-up period, none. And the beauty of it is that you can take it on and off whenever you want. And it has these cool on-body vibe alerts that go off whenever you get out of range in your blood sugar numbers, so you don't have to be looking at your phone every 2 seconds. So this is perfect for when you're driving or playing sports, and especially for when you're sleeping. Only you can hear and feel the vibrations, but others can get alarms on the phone from the app. I also made a video about Eversense that will be at the end of this video too, so check that one out as well. Yay, that's it. We counted down to number 1. And if you pay attention to these 10 major contributors to your A1C and follow my advice religiously, I promise you that you will see great A1Cs and diabetes will seem so much less overwhelming to you. Please ask me any questions that you have about anything that was in this video in the comment section below, and I will try to answer everything. Thanks for watching. Feel good, stay healthy, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.